Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. We're going to try to make this quick to get everybody from out of the rain, and we'll have plenty of time to talk to all of you afterwards. My name is Scott Bullock. That's Scottbullock. I'm senior attorney at the Institute for Justice. The Institute for Justice is a nonprofit public interest law firm located in Arlington, Virginia, just right outside of Washington, D.C. We litigate in a number of different areas, but our overall goal is to protect vital constitutional liberties. And central to the mission of the Institute for Justice is the protection of private property rights. And our concern for the right to private property and the right of due process brings us to Philadelphia here today. We are here to stop Philadelphia's outrageous system of civil forfeiture. And we have filed a federal class action lawsuit to end Philadelphia's forfeiture machine. Civil forfeiture is the power of the government to take your car, your cash, and as you will hear today, even your home, regardless of whether the owner of that property is found guilty or even arrested for criminal conduct. It is one of the greatest threats to private property in America today. There are two fundamental problems with civil forfeiture. First, in America, you are supposed to be innocent until you are proven guilty. That is a fundamental principle of American justice. But civil forfeiture turns that principle on its head. In civil forfeiture, your property is guilty until you prove it innocent. The second problem with civil forfeiture is the fact that police and prosecutors, the very people who are out there taking property, are receiving direct financial benefits. They get to keep all of the property they forfeit for their own use, giving them a very direct and perverse incentive to take property and to make a profit rather than to pursue justice. No American should lose their property without being convicted of a crime. And police and prosecutors should not be profiting from their law enforcement decisions. Joining us here today is going to be a property owner facing civil forfeiture. But first, you're going to hear from Darpana Sheth, the lead attorney in our federal class action lawsuit. Darpana?
Good afternoon. My name is Darpana Sheth, and I'm an attorney with the Institute for Justice. That's Darpana, last name Sheth, Sheth. While civil forfeiture laws exist all across the country, Philadelphia is the ground zero for forfeiture abuse. The city's prosecutors have turned this legal tool into a machine that devours people's property while taking away their constitutional rights. From 2002 until 2012, the Philadelphia DA's office forfeited over 1,000 homes, 3,200 vehicles, and over $44 million in cash, all from residents of the city, many of whom were never even convicted with a crime. To make matters worse, the loss of these property owners directly benefits the DA's office. Each year, the Philadelphia DA's office collects almost $6 million in forfeiture revenue. That's twice the amount that both Brooklyn, New York, and Los Angeles County collect combined. And where does all this money go? It goes to pay salaries, including the salaries of the very prosecutors who wield enormous amounts of discretion to bring this forfeiture claims. In order to bring these forfeiture claims, it is this direct profit incentive, it is this perverse profit incentive underlying civil forfeiture that is fueling Philadelphia's forfeiture machine. And this is how the machine works. Property owners, like our clients, are told that in order to reclaim their property, they have to go to courtroom 478 in City Hall. But courtroom 478 is no courtroom at all. There's no judge, there's no jury, There's not even a court reporter to transcribe these so-called hearings. Rather, it's the prosecutors who run courtroom 478, and they call all the shots. It's the prosecutors who frequently tell property owners that the process is simple and an attorney is not required. It's the prosecutors who tell property owners that they must come back time and time again to courtroom 478. And if they miss a single hearing, those property owners risk losing their property forever. And ultimately, it's the prosecutors who stand to directly benefit from Philadelphia's forfeiture machine. As a Pennsylvania state judge declared, civil forfeiture is nothing more than state-sanctioned theft. And this is why the Institute for Justice has filed this class action lawsuit on behalf of our clients, Sourovelis, Norris Hernandez, and Doyle Welch, as well as a class of other property owners in Philadelphia. It's time to stop Philadelphia's abusive practices and end Philadelphia's forfeiture machine. I will now turn things over to our lead client, Sourovelis. Last name is Sourovelis, Sourouvelis. Chris's home was threatened with civil forfeiture, and he stands to lose his family home, even though he's done nothing wrong, has never been charged with a crime, and has never been in trouble with the law.
Hello, my name is Sourovelis. I'm one of the many owners in Philadelphia, and the city of Philadelphia came in my house, threw me out of my home, me and my family, and we struggled for a week to go back to the house. And it's been like a 3-4 months, all this process, and still we're fighting for the house. I don't think so it's right, and it's no reason for us to be in this kind of situation. No owner of the house of Philadelphia deserves that. We all have rights. I don't do nothing wrong. I didn't bother anybody, but still they came in and threw me out of my house. So I don't know what else to say. You know, my wife can say something too. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. It's okay.
It's a horrible thing to lose your home. You've been in that house forever with your family. They've taken away our rights. We fear every day. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a battle. It's a constant. Come this month, come next month. We'll see what's going to happen. There's no closure. It's scary. It's destroyed our life. It's ruined my life. I don't know what else to do. So we need to fight to get our rights back for the people that have lost their homes and the people that are in the process of losing their homes, to stop this, to not allow this to happen anymore. Thank you.
We'd be happy to, as long as the skies cooperate with us, we'd be happy to answer any questions about the Institute, our work against civil forfeiture, or some of the specifics from the lawsuit. Yes.
Markella, Markella. Same last name, Sourovelis.
You want to spell that again for him, one?
Sourovelis.
Good.
Can you just describe some of the circumstances of how you came in and took your home and how it all went down?
They came in May, and they knocked on the door and presented this letter from the judge that they're seizing our house. We asked what for. They said, this is the process. We seize your house, and you can talk to the judge within a week and talk to him and tell him what your story. I asked them, why are they seizing the house? And again, they said, you'll speak to the judge. We have not spoken to any judge since then. No judge. So we haven't even been able to tell anybody the story. We just keep going to this 478 room, and every month it's the next month, filling out papers. And that's it. That's the whole process.
What's the allegation?
They came into our house and they found a small amount of drugs in our house.
Police on an earlier date?
It was an earlier search, yeah.
With the son.
By our son.
And obviously your son has no ownership of the house.
No ownership.
It was more than a month ago that her son was arrested for drug activity, and then they came without any warning, so they had no idea that, I mean, they thought that was over. It was just, you know, something with her son.
And has the son's case been litigated or prosecuted?
No, it was his first time. It was his first time offense, and so therefore he's in a diversion program where he's completing drug rehabilitation, and that's he's been doing really well in that.
What's the value of the house?
Over 300.
About 300,000.
Over 300,000.
Over 300.
In Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
See what neighborhood it is, what section it is.
We're in the Somerton area.
Are there any other questions? We'd be happy to talk to you individually too with it, or we could answer a couple more questions here.
For the other plaintiffs, and I'm sure this is spelled out in the filings we haven't had a chance to read yet.
Sure.
Can you give us a snapshot of where they all stand in the civil forfeiture process at this point?
Sure. We've got three plaintiffs, named plaintiffs in the class action. So you just heard from Chris Sourovelis and his wife. Norris Hernandez owns property in North Philadelphia together with her sister. Her sister is the one who lives in the property, and right now it is currently under seize and seal order, which means no one is allowed in or out, including her sister, Sonia Gonzalez, who did nothing wrong, was never charged with a crime, and has not been convicted of any crime. Our final client, named plaintiff, is Doyle Welch. Her home in southwest Philadelphia is also being threatened with forfeiture due to her husband's use of illegal drugs in the home, but without Doyle's knowledge or consent. And right now, it's sort of the same process for all these clients. They've been to courtroom 478 at least once. None of them have ever seen a judge, and they're just told to come back this time to bring more paperwork or fill out another form.
Are you asking for other people to join the class? I mean, I'm sure what are you doing in regards to that?
Yes, we will be asking, looking for other plaintiffs, maybe personal property plaintiffs, not just homes. And currently, though, the class is on behalf of all property owners who own property in Philadelphia that is currently or will be the subject of a forfeiture action from the DA's office. Yeah, and with us is Peter Kennedy, who's handling some of the underlying forfeiture actions in courtroom 478, and our local counsel, David Radofsky.
Are most of them drug related?
Yes, and most of the civil forfeiture actions that the DA prosecutes are mostly controlled substances violation. But they're going after property owners who were not charged with any kind of violation.
I mean, these were just situations where drugs were present in the house.
Right.
No ownership was.
Right. There's no connection between the property necessarily and the drug activity.
And often in some of the seizures of money and cars, which is the other part of this, we're at the tip of the iceberg here. We've got huge numbers of seizures of money, $200, $300, or cars where the police say it may be associated with drugs, and even though there are no drugs involved and nobody's even arrested on a drug charge, the presumption flips, and they have to now come to court and say that $200 is innocent money, right? So instead of the state having to prove guilt, individuals now have to go to court and say, that's the $200 I just got paid for, right? And if a judge doesn't believe that, they lose the money. Or if they can't tolerate, which most people can't, going to court 10 times and losing time from work and not having money to hire a lawyer, they give up and the money gets forfeited as a matter of default. As you said, it's kind of a perverse, corrupt system which puts innocent people to the burden of proving their innocence as opposed to the state proving guilt.
And what's the burden? Because I understand that there is a difference between the criminal burden and the civil burden.
Right. In the criminal system, it's the government's duty to show and actually get a conviction, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil forfeiture, the government only has to prove what's technically called by a preponderance of the evidence, and that just means more likely than not, so more than 50% chance that there's some connection between the property and the crime. And then once the government meets that burden, it's the owner, the property owner's burden to prove their innocence and show that they don't have any knowledge or involvement with the crime.
So could there be a situation where you're actually found innocent and you still lose the property?
Yes, and that happens a lot. In
Or
fact,
not even charged.
right.
Never
You
charged.
cannot
with the
even be
crime.
charged
And they seize
with the
the money.
crime.
Great. Well, why don't we call it off here since the rain has picked up, but
Little bit.
we'll be happy to talk to you over at the hotel or here as well if you have any more questions. Thank you all again for coming.